Evening, folks. Tonight's going to be the issues. We've got 14 issues that were posed by WMUR. And all I'm going to give you is Dennis Lamare's response on economic rebound. Mr. Lamare says, "We are in a service-oriented economy where we are transferring money around and not manufacturing enough to keep our economy running smoothly. We shouldn't have to outsource goods and services to other countries when we can make them here. We have to provide incentives to companies to make it worth their while to keep their business here in New Hampshire and in the U.S. Let's look at financial reform. And he says, "I would audit the Federal Reserve annually, hold the financial rating agencies accountable for their decisions, phase out the naked credit swaps, and require the banks to have a financial interest in the instruments and the paper they want to market to any corporation or person." Healthcare. "I would vote to repeal the 2010 Health Care Act and then submit a bill to set up a separate fund to provide coverage for people that have pre-existing conditions or cannot afford health care. There are ways of providing for the general welfare of those who, because of varying circumstances, are unable to be insured." Yeah. Okay. Immigration. "We heartily embrace those who are willing to follow the laws, apply for citizenship, and contribute to making America a better place for everyone. We cannot condone those who trespass and cross the borders illegally. I propose we reduce our military presence in Iraq and Afghanistan to minimal levels and bring our troops back home and place them on the Mexican border. I do not believe in, nor will I support, a fast track to citizenship or rewarding those who have broken our laws." Homeland Security. "The primary role of the federal government is to defend the lives and liberty of the American people. Terrorists who wish to do harm to us need to be treated as terrorists. We should not be telling terrorists such as the Christmas Day bomber that they have a right to remain silent. We need a strong and well-equipped military, and we need to secure our borders." Afghanistan. "It has been 9 years since we first entered Afghanistan, and we have yet to have a coherent exit strategy. Al-Qaeda is substantially diminished, and the focus is now on the Taliban. We have to change the rules of engagement on the battlefield, gather meaningful intelligence, and develop a rational plan to leave the country in the near future." Oil spill. Don't ask me why. It's a local channel. They asked the senators about the oil spill. "BP is the owner of the accident and is ultimately responsible for the damages resulting from the oil being released into the Gulf. It is negligent for not having a contingent plan of action in place to react to such an occurrence, and the U.S. government is negligent for not ensuring that such a plan was there also. Now is not the time to point the finger of blame, but to find a rational and definitive solution to shut off the flow of oil. Too much time has passed, and viable options were left idle that could have reduced the amount of oil that has devastated the water and the coastline of the Gulf." This one was done a little bit back before the BP capped it. Energy. "We need to have all considerations on the table: nuclear, fossil fuels, solar, wind, and water, etc. We cannot be totally independent of oil, as it is the most abundant and accessible option we have right now to heat our homes, lubricate our engines, and keep our factories running efficiently. I favor opening up the ANWR to exploration and drilling with the appropriate safeguards in place to ensure that if accidents occur there are procedures in place for all contingencies. Climate. Okay. I believe that the current hype on global warming is a politically motivated and not based on scientific fact. Environmentalists and some scientists in the 1970s were arguing that we were on the verge of the next ice age. We cannot harness or control the climate in any meaningful way, and it is ridiculous to think differently. Right on, brother. Education. Education is the cornerstone of our national security. I believe that control of education should be at the local level, and the parents and the community decide what is best for their children. Here we go. Abortion. I will give consideration and support for a woman or family to decide for themselves. It is unfair and hypocritical to say that it is all right to condone it in one instance, but not in another. Same-sex marriage. I believe that, as Americans, we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I believe the government has no right to intrude into the most private parts of our lives. To that end, I will not legislate to someone who can love and live throughout their lifetime. And lastly, gun rights. It is a fundamental right given to us to own guns if we want to. Persons who have a history of criminal acts using firearms should not be allowed to own guns and put the safety of the general public at risk. I've read you what he said about First and Second Amendments rights. That was my first one. This man's right on. Don't totally agree with some of his aspects, but I'm sorry, he's in the right track. The other aspects are just personal belief. It's all constitutional. Either way. More to think about, folks. Especially you guys in New Hampshire. Come to the Claremont Tea Party next weekend. The park in Broad Street in Claremont. 12 to 5. You can meet the man. You can go right up to his face and ask a question. He won't back down. He won't shy away. And to put it bluntly, he's not going to blow sunshine up your ass. He's going to tell it like it is. And folks, he's doing it all on his own nickel. Peace out, all.